Well, he's off though. He's off at the UFC on the weekend there, Joe. He's just trying to carry on as normal. He was there with Mike Tyson and a whole bunch of the UFC crowd, trying to play to that base, you know.
Yeah, he knows how to relax. You know, during the campaign way back, he criticized Barack Obama at one stage before 2016 for golfing all the time, and then in his 4 years, President golfed 400 times, 300 times at his own golf course. So he kind of does what he wants to do anyway.
Yeah.
But look, he's got to do something to stay normal. But I think everybody's coming after him, and I think the thing about the New York arraignment is that it allowed other people in Washington and Georgia and other places, it's given them the courage to go one step further. I mean, the president they've drawn blood, and now they see that he has to do certain things, and I think they'll be emboldened. Whether they win or not is not important. The point is that they have weakened him, though not all of his followers believe that. And, the way is open now for some opponents of his to say, look, Donald Trump's a good guy, and, he had some good policies, but he's a lousy role model, and he doesn't play it straight all the time. So, he's giving openings all around. But I think most of his problems are unforced errors, didn't have to be this way, and I'm sure the documents he had were completely harmless. They wouldn't be as important as the documents as Vice President Biden had hanging around the house for his son to look at. I mean, they weren't anything like that, as a matter of fact.
I gotta say, just like watching the events of last week. I mean, obviously Trump's going to have his rusted-on supporters who they're not going to move anywhere. They're going to follow him no matter come hell or high water. But there's the middle part that he needs to win over if he wins the Republican nomination and then goes to the general election. He's going to need those to win. I'm not sure he does. I'm becoming more convinced that a good portion of those in the centre don't really want to go through all of that again. We saw all the noise last week, the baggage that comes with Donald Trump. I'm wondering whether they really have the energy to deal with that for another 4 years.
Oh, I think you're right. And the thing is, of course, is that since 2016, his critics can say, the independents can say, look, the Donald Trump of today is not the same Donald Trump we saw in 2016, that in many ways Mar-a-Lago has become the swamp. The place is now Grand Central for professional politicians and lobbyists and the rest of it. He doesn't talk about the future. He only talks about himself and saving his hide. So, once again, they can separate Trump, the man they voted for, and the policies he committed to, as opposed to the guy today who's made a lot of mistakes. So they can there's some separation here. But Pete, I think you're right. I don't care what the polls say. The president is bleeding. They've got the first shot in, and when he sat in that courtroom and he had to listen to that judge, he was in the one place on earth he did not want to be. And as I pointed out, when he walked in the courtroom, Pete, and the door slammed in his face, here's the most important person on earth, the most powerful person on the planet, had the door slammed in his face, because when you're in that courtroom in Manhattan, you ain't the president or the former president of the United States. You're just criminal defendant number, whatever it was. Yeah. So Trump got a case of, humility there, and whether he learns from it or not, I do not know.
All right. Joe, good to see you. We'll talk to you again soon.